Greetings, this is Dr. Tara Van Zant Stern with SSD Global Solutions. We specialize in smart, simple decision making. We are also the sponsors of the Rocky Mountain Quality Consortium, along with ASQ Denver. Today my guest is Bill Castle. His topic is integrating leadership, quality, and lean into business management. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Bill has a very impressive background. He was a nuclear submarine officer for 25 years before joining the Tennessee Valley Authority. He's also served in a number of leadership roles and is a Six Sigma black belt. To see a complete biography of Bill, we invite you to go to www.rmqc.org. That stands for the Rocky Mountain Quality Consortium. Again, Bill, welcome. I know everyone's looking forward to hearing your thoughts on integrating leadership, quality, and lean into business management.
Thank you, Tara. I'm a performance manager at a coal-fired generating plant in Memphis, Tennessee. And as Tara said, the subject of my presentation is integrating leadership, quality management, Lean Six Sigma into the business managing process. Much of my leadership and teamwork expertise came from a 25-plus year career in the Navy. I was a nuclear-trained submarine officer. Among the assignments that I had was three missile submarines, 2 nuclear attack submarines. I was commanding officer of the USS Atlanta, a nuclear attack submarine, and I was also commanding officer of a shore activity called Naval Technical Training Support Group. It was while I was at this command I became focused on quality, business management, and process standardization. After earning my executive MBA at the University of Memphis and attending workshops at FedEx and Xerox on total quality management. FedEx had just recently won the Baldrige Award when I was completing my MBA, and that piqued my interest. After my Navy career and retirement, I went to work for the Tennessee Valley Authority, a public utility generator, and I served in a variety of roles in that position. While in my quality manager role, while I was at the coal-fired plant, I was assisting the management team in development of a business planning model and process control chart for organizational use. This is kind of a standard business model. I'm sure today it's pretty much a standard, but at that time we were just getting into business planning and utilizing that at our plant. The plant manager requested that I organize this chart that he handed me. Functionally with the major management roles, which were plan, organize, lead, and control. Due to my quality manager role at the plant, I had to add to that, and I suggested we include Deming's total quality management functions: plan, do, check, act. And he agreed that that was something that we could do. The result was a 4x4 matrix with functional swim lanes and the process control system shown below. We quickly recognized that the management model was lacking in leadership and organizational activities and added the leadership question using the matrix on the right below in our training presentation to plant management. These are actually screenshots from the actual presentation that was used. With this as a background, this is the chart that I put together for when I began working again on this particular effort for integrating leadership, quality, and lean into the business management process. One of the things that was key with me is that, to use Deming's quote, the job of management is not supervision but leadership. And the greatest waste in America is failure to use the abilities of people. And that means learning how to do good teams. In looking at how to integrate quality management into the program, one of the best sources for organizational skills and leadership is the late Stephen R. Covey's 7 Habits book and program. It has value for both personal and business use. It provides timeless, holistic, and integrated approach to solving personal and professional problems. And what I liked about it was it's not a quick fix. It provides a lifelong guide for change. And I have, on a number of occasions, gone back and reacquainted myself with the 7 habits. I've listed the habits below. Habit 1, be proactive. That basically is to shift you from a reactive to a proactive approach towards your work. Habit 2, the begin with the end in mind, goes well with looking at mission and vision. Habit 3, put first things first. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. Habit 4, think win-win, is really a key thing from looking at both internal and external customers. Habit 5, which is another one that I find very, very valuable, is to seek first to understand before being understood. And the key here is that too often we're very quick to address an issue without first fully understanding what another individual or a team is trying to tell us. Synergize, pretty straightforward. It's working to get everybody involved and getting the most out of it. And then finally sharpen the saw, which I think that is something that you have to continuously try to do. Next, integrating leadership is a key thing. It's absolutely critical for managers that are leading employee teams. The teamwork on a submarine that I found was needed due to the complexity of operations and missions. To be successful, the entire crew had to be trained, and everyone needed to know everyone else's job, and we had to work together as a team. Otherwise, success was very difficult to achieve. Working with a team in the business environment is not that much different, but the culture needed to execute may need to be changed, something that I found to be the case when I first retired and started working in the electric utility. When working with local management teams and implementing organizational strategic business plans, 4 leadership themes prevailed for me. The first was to establish mission and vision, basically to make sure employees know they're part of the mission and that the employee will find meaning striving to reach a clearly defined mission. The next is removing barriers. Got to initiate improvement will raise expectation, and those improvements would be the removal of those barriers. We have to enable barrier removal through problem solving and process improvement. Next, provide recognition and awards. Positive enforcement maximize performance. Too often we think recognition and awards is giving somebody something. The biggest thing that you can give them is a thank you for doing a job. If you catch them doing good every day, you tell them so, and you're specific in your approach, you're going to gain that employee's trust, and you're going to gain that employee's support. I feel that this is the one activity you must always have time for. Finally, the management leadership roles, you need to create systematic learning. We have to focus on doing the right things right. We have to help people understand what is expected, and then we have to standardize on what works. We have to define and improve the process so we all can use it. Next, I wanted to integrate Lean Six Sigma into the business management process. Of course, I'm speaking probably to the choir in some cases, but Lean is a data-driven strategy of continuous improvement that improves the product and service and eliminates waste. To quote my CEO at my utility, we need to be working on making programs safer, better, faster, and more cost-effective. Customer expectations, the voice of the customer, we need to use that to capture the requirements and feedback from both external and internal customers to identify the best-in-class service and product quality. And then next, the process expectations, we use the critical to quality indicators to convert customer needs and wants. I've listed the DMAIC process, which I wanted to put into my model, the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, to help individuals understand how the particular project they're working on might fit into the business model. Here is a high-level flow chart in SIPOC that I use to define help individuals in the teams that I work with understand the DMAIC process. And the key here is I try to help people understand what the objective of each phase is, and then what the activities are. The other things is that I want to try to identify some of the activities that can be done in each. I've actually created this in a Excel spreadsheet so others can use it, because when they actually get ready to do their DMAIC process, they can actually use this to help identify either the SIPOC, or they can use it as time to document the time involved in using going through the project. The final thing was the actual program that I created, and I'll kind of walk you through this particular thing. The first thing is that this was the resulting process that I feel achieved the alignment of quality, leadership, and lean that I was hoping to achieve. The black arrows and the black lines going through it is the original business process that I originally showed you. The yellow box in the thing, which may be a little hard to read in this particular model on the screen, are Covey's 7 habits. The green blocks are the leadership principles that I previously related to you. The blue box are the actual DMAIC process, so I could show about where they would relate to the business model. One of the reasons why I did this is that too often we think that the DMAIC process is just a small part of what we do. If you can align the DMAIC model to your business plan, you're going to get much more buy-in from the employees and team members, as well as better support from your senior management. That's an observation that I have found to be the case. As you can see, I think that using the Covey model and also the leadership principles, I achieved my objective of having more organization and leadership principles in the business model. The other thing I'd mention is down in where it says plan, do, check, act. One of the things that I've done is I've got check and act, but you'll see I have study and adjust. Not too long ago, I ran across an article where it said that Deming actually preferred to use plan, do, study, act as opposed to plan, do, check, act. And one of the things about this is that it aligns very nicely with lean. A lot of the things that we do in lean, especially in the control process, is to study the program that we're actually doing. And then we make adjustments. We don't necessarily stop what we're doing and not keep track of where it is we're going. I've recently been working with one of our teams at our plant on work management. And one of the things that we've done is that we've already achieved our initial objectives, and we've continued on with the control metrics, and we've actually identified other areas that we want to improve in the process. There's been about 3 different areas where we have done this. So the other aspect of it is this was a major area that we wanted to focus on in our business plan for the organization. So the fact that we were doing this particular continuous improvement project has been very well supported, not only by our organization, but also it's actually been recognized by our senior management in our organization. So employees have gotten a lot out of that particular effort, out of this particular effort, and using the process to explain how we can do things together. I want to digress a little bit right now and talk about some of the issues that we found when we've been trying to do continuous improvement projects and demand projects at our site. One of the things that's the hardest for our supervisors to do is to find time to get those projects integrated into what they do. They're pretty much chock-a-blocked on a 40-hour week already, and so to take on some of the continuous improvement projects is very difficult for them. One of the things that they have found, though, that when they've been able to find the time to do that they actually have been able to work that particular effort right into what they do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. So what I have used and learned was quadrant 2 time management, which was something that Stephen Covey in his Habit 4 was very, very strongly associated with. He divided things into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is those issues that are urgent and important. Quadrant 2, those that are important and not urgent. Quadrant 3, urgent and not important. And quadrant 4, the not urgent and not important. Of course, what our objective should be is to work as much of our time as possible into quadrant 2. That's the important and not urgent things. I don't want to make light of the fact that there are things that are urgent and important. That's the real world result. There will be a lot of that particular effort that you have to do. One of the things that I found day to day is that I end up getting a lot of urgent and not important things that interfere with the efforts that I'm trying to undergo. Sometimes I can put them off, but what I really found is that when I want to get into quadrant 2, it is not unusual for me to shut my door and tell people I'm here, and if they need me, they can give me a call or they can go out and knock on the door and come in. The key is, though, is they don't just automatically barge in while I'm trying and break my train of thought. The quadrant 4, that is not just stuff that is associated with business. Quadrant 4 can be things that you're doing at home and the like. The other thing is that when you're planning quadrant 2 activity, not everything is business related. You have to be thinking about your family, and you have to be thinking about other activities that you do in support. One of the things that I used to originally understand this better was a template that came out of the Franklin Management system. I later took this and put it into an Excel spreadsheet, but when I first saw this, I said there's no way I could have 8 roles associated with what I do. Then I sat down and figured out what they were, and just as an example, my roles right now are performance manager, I'm a corrective action program manager, and I'm a performance analyst, human performance analyst and trainer. I manage the business plan development and management, and I'm also the continuous improvement coordinator. Recently, with my obtaining the black belt certification, I'm now helping other teams and other organizations. So that has been a very welcome role that I've enjoyed. The other roles that I need to mention are the fact that I have a spouse and I'm a dad, and believe me, they take a lot of my time also, and I have to make sure that I include them in what I do day to day, week to week. Especially my daughters, they demand a lot of attention. Even though they're not at home right now, they're both married and in different cities. I end up getting a lot of calls and working with them on various things in their lives. Finally, very often I've been involved in local community activities, and that is something that has been very, very useful. It was fun seeing me out there trying to coach a 7 and 8 year old soccer team as a quality manager. That's an interesting challenge all in itself. To help me do this, a couple of the columns that are not real clear on this form is this right here. For each role, what you want to do is you want to identify the goals and targets that you're trying to achieve for each role, and that can be a target or it can be an actual objective. Most of these should be long-term in nature, maybe quarterly or annually, or maybe even in some cases longer than that. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to try to identify quarter two activities and actions that will support that particular role. And then once you've identified those, look at trying to get them into your weekly and your monthly schedules that you maintain. Same thing for these other roles. I already mentioned the fact that it's important to get family and local community support into my schedule, and I try to do that for specific times that we've got in there. Next, how do I get all this into my schedule? Okay, I use Microsoft Outlook, and I include both personal items as well as my quadrant 2 activities. Most of my quadrant 2 activities are the ones in green and the ones in blue. Those activities that I'm routinely supposed to do, but yet I don't absolutely have to do, I've got coded in purple. The yellow, or the I guess it's kind of an off-white color, has to do with my personal things, which include physical therapy, which I recently had to undergo because I had a shoulder joint replacement. And then the other is exercise. I try to get exercise at least 2 to 3 times a week and at least once on the weekend. The Microsoft Outlook schedule really helps me. I actually print this out on a daily basis and add to it. And I also use it on a weekly basis. And Microsoft Outlook does me pretty well. Okay, so what I want to do now is kind of summarize what integrating leadership and lean into the business management process can achieve. First, business management and lean is about increasing quality and profit. This includes quality management methodologies using leadership and teamwork as the guiding principles. Lean focuses on getting the right things done at the right time and the right quality while we're minimizing waste. Lean also makes the business management simple enough to execute and manage and to control. The bottom line is that lean and leadership effectively employed using the DMAIC process will enable a team to prosper in a business environment. Okay, I have a couple of final thoughts that I would like to share with you, kind of some of my takeaways. The first has to do with the use of teams. It's very important that we use cross-functional teams. We include frontline employees in those teams, and we learn and use leadership. The principles in this presentation, I think, will help one achieve those particular goals, with the teams. Facilitators and team leaders need to listen and capture team member comments and solutions. Most often, the solutions that we achieved in some of the projects that I was involved with came from those comments. I've been involved over my career in 4 major successful team efforts, and in every one of those team efforts, the ultimate solution that we came up with came from one of the frontline workers that was a member of the team. Next, time management. Lean and CI projects tend to be long-term in nature, and they take second place to the day-to-day and urgent tasks, many of which are not important. Be sure to schedule these activities into your schedule and resist having them interrupted. Quadrant 2 time management can help you with this issue. Aligning projects with the business plan will help get supervisors and management support. Next, learn to listen. Habit 5, seek first to understand before being understood, is excellent advice. And then finally, sharpen the saw. Don't ever stop learning. You need to find some good sources on the internet and emails that will refresh and update your knowledge. Two of the ones that I use, and I've been very pleased with them, are the Quality Digest, and the other is Think Reliability. Quality Digest has great articles on lean and quality management, and also some good information on the use of the various lean and Six Sigma tools. The other is Think Reliability, which I use or look at on a regular basis to keep my cause mapping and cause and effect knowledge and understanding and skills up to date. With that, I would open the presentation up to questions and comments.
Bill, I want to say that was an absolutely excellent presentation. Thank you so much, Bill.